Today, we're going to walk through a couple very basic and easy transactions using the Fusion point of sale application for Acumatica. The first thing I would like to mention is that with Fusion's interface capabilities, um, every interface, or what we sometimes call our skin, will be customized, branded, and tailored to each customer. So in this case, this one is Acumatica branded, colors, etc. You name it. Everything that I mentioned so far, plus the layout, what buttons go where, as buttons that aren't seen on the screen right now. If I click this help button here, you can see that you do have about 150 actual commands to choose from to put on the screen for what we call hotkeys for touchscreen access. So typically, let our customers know that, at least functions that you're going to use day to day. At a minimum week to week, I would suggest putting those on the screen, especially if you're using touchscreen, but this can also be used with a keyboard and mouse, just like I'm doing today. So for an example, if you don't use quotes from the register, there's no reason for that to be on the screen. So in a nutshell, as far as the interface goes, it's going to be different for every one of our customers. They have the option to have multiple looks. So if they want to actually have a Christmas version, if they have multiple companies within a tenant, you can have separate interfaces per store, per company, whatever they want to do. It's very easy to change, and it's very, very customizable. So like I said, it will be custom to each customer that we have. We have 4 or 5, stock layouts they can choose from, but whatever we don't have yet can definitely be created. So with that, I'll run into here a couple transactions. And like I said at the beginning, I'll keep these very simple and short today. But we're always going to default the system to a default customer. In this case, with the Acumatica demo environment we use, it is called cash connection. A lot of our customers just call it, default customer, or, Dallas store customer. You name it. It can be whatever you want. You're going to create that customer within Acumatica, and that's the customer that we're going to default to. Now, nowadays, most retailers are doing their best to gather customer information. So I can always click this add client button, and I can add a customer on the go. Now, in this case, you see that at the bare minimum to create this account, their name is required. I can require multiple fields here. Most common I see name and email, name and phone number. But so I can create a customer here on the go if I want to. Or I can just, if the customer doesn't want to give me any information, I can sell directly to this default cash customer. Now, if your items are barcoded, I would just scan the barcodes as they bring me the items to the counter. In this case, I'll just go ahead and grab a couple from the item search, or in this case, I'll just grab one. I'll double click this Acer laptop here. And again, to keep this one very simple, I will go ahead and tender this out. And for this one, I will go ahead and just say they're going to give me the exact amount of cash. I press OK. This will typically be blank for a default customer. But from here, at the end of every transaction, I have the option to, as the clerk, to print them a receipt. This is just a basic thermal receipt here that you see on the right. It does show you that on every transaction, we do track the date, time, the clerk that did the transaction, what store, the transaction number, and the specific register. And then, of course, the customer information, what they bought, how they paid for it, and then any change due. If I need to throw a logo or a store address or anything like that on these thermal receipts, that's okay. That's fine. If the customer wants to print, full page 8x11, that's also okay. That can also be triggered by transaction type. So as an example, for the transaction that we just did, very simple, the customer just wants a little thermal receipt and move on. Now, maybe if I were to take a transaction that I put on account for terms, or maybe it's an order that we're going to ship. Most times I've seen so far, those customers will require us to print an 8x11. So that can all be triggered to be set up automatically to where the system knows what printer needs to be used by transaction type. In this case, if they did want to email it from here, I could always type the email in on the go and hit email and then move on. So very quick transaction there. And then before I jump in and show you this in Acumatica, I'll run through one more. In this case, I'm going to grab a customer. Let's just grab USA Bartending here. I'll double click it. I can hit enter, whatever I want to do. There's also an integrated loyalty program. And when you have that turned on, it allows you to quick search for customers by either scanning their loyalty app, which will populate a QR code. I can, in this case, it's defaulted to phone number, so I could have just typed in a phone number and it would have loaded that customer up. And then, of course, you can always default it to search for their name. So, a few options there when a customer comes up that's already in your system. Now, from here, let me grab a couple items again. Now, if I want, the clerk has access to, if I want to discount, let's say we'll discount this item by 10%. If I want to come in and, change a price as the customer, let's say I'm going to go from $500 to $499. That's okay. Now, just to keep it clear here, I'm logged in as admin, so I have free reign to do as I want at the register. Nothing's going to stop me. But there is a security module within Fusion that will allow you to give rights to clerks, managers, admin, etc., however many groups that you want to have at your stores. So I can virtually turn on a manager approval for any function the register has. So discounting, that is a very common function for a manager approval. You can get a little bit more granular with those to where it's not specifically yes, can they discount or no, they can't. I can actually set a percentage or a dollar amount specifically to each clerk. So I can, let's say maybe the clerk that's worked there for 3 years, we're going to let them discount without manager approval until 15% or $500. Whereas maybe the new clerk that's starting tomorrow, we maybe cap them at 5% or $100 before manager needs to be called in for approval. So bunch of things you can do here. Like I said, I can turn manager approval on for anything. Again, I'm going to keep it simple, but if I needed to ship these for any reason, I would hit this fulfillment button. I would come in here and I would ship them. Now, just to keep this one simple, customer walks up. He's got 2 items, and I discounted one. I changed the price for the other for whatever reason. If you have discounts or promotions that are automated, you can set those up within Acumatica, and those will be reflected here. So if I had, for instance, a weekend sale going on right now, that was, let's say, 10% off the Lego set, I wouldn't have had to manually put that there. The 10% would have came as soon as I entered in or scanned in the item. Okay, so in this case, I'll go to tender this out. And on this one, you can handle multiple payment types on each transaction. So let's just say USA Bartending School gives us $275 in cash. And again, just to keep it simple, I'll say they're going to just give me a check for the balance. I could keep going. I could have taken a cash check, a gift card, and put the balance on account if I wanted to. Here, since we do have their account, you'll notice that their email address is on file, where I can just hit email and move on. I can print the receipt just like we did before. I can do both actually, and I can actually do neither, and I can hit OK and move on. So, couple easy transactions there. And then now let me just show you while I have you the transactions that are now in Acumatica. So as you'll see here, under sales order in Acumatica, there are, you'll notice the order types of FI, FO, and then for returns, there will be an FR, which looks like we haven't done one in a while. But that's it. And let me open one up just to show you here. The order types, they'll use the same templates and behaviors as a normal invoice, sales order, and credit memo. As you can see here, same template, same behavior. When you publish the Fusion customization package, you'll get the FI, FO, FR, and that makes it a lot easier to create dashboards, reports that are specific to retail, and that's very helpful, especially let's say if you're truly omni-channel and you have orders coming in from directly within Acumatica sales order entry, or if you have orders coming in from e-commerce, this is an easier way for you to determine what's coming from your retail stores or Fusion. So in this case, this was the second one we did. There is the laptop and the Lego set. It's completed. All my taxes, all the here's how they paid. Like I said, there's the cash and the check. And let me go back and just show you what the first one looks like. What we did to the default customer, the cash connection, same thing, nothing crazy. Nothing out of the ordinary or different from a normal sales order, but I can, if I want to go and if I want to pull up the invoice, whatever I need to do, but you'll see that the status is completed. Now, if we were to do an order from the register that we needed to ship or anything like that, let me go back here. That would, oh, well, it logged me out, didn't it? 1 second. Those type of the shipping transactions or any type of transaction that doesn't need to be completed and invoiced right away, we will leave those open. So, and I'll pull this one up as an example here. Yeah, okay. So at the register in this case, we did set this item for shipping. Whether I wanted to pull that in from another warehouse at the register. So if I wanted to, from the POS, place a shipping order for an item that is not physically at the store, but it does reside at, let's say, our main warehouse, I can do that. And you'll see here, I did change it to ship in this case. There's my item. You can see those are from separate warehouses. So this one, I did in fact choose to ship this one from the main warehouse or a separate warehouse than the store I was standing at. And then from here, you'll use either a WMS system or you'll just create the shipment and do all of your shipping processes just like you would any other way. So with that said, that was just a quick example of how Fusion will work for a couple of easy transactions. But I hope this was helpful today for everybody. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. Thank you.